Hi everyone, it's Aman here. You're watching the Great Grad Job Hunt, and welcome to part 2 of my mini-series about studying abroad in Australia. So last week I told you guys a little bit about how I applied for the position, how I prepared and got ready to go abroad. And next week I'll be telling you about how going abroad has helped me and what I learned from the experience and how it's helping me on my search for a graduate job. Okay, so today I'm going to be telling you a bit about what it was like for me once I got to Australia, very generally what I had to do when I got there, what was good, what was bad, and overall a few of the experiences I had. So when I first arrived in Australia, it was very different to London straight from the get-go. Obviously it was incredibly hot over there, but generally the atmosphere and the culture and the people were quite different to how life is over here at home. So after getting picked up from the airport, finding my place to live, settling in, obviously calling my parents, there were some really crucial things that I had to get done upon arrival. So some of these were enrolling in university, opening a bank account so I could manage my finances and pay my rent, get my lease agreement signed and look at my tenancy contract and inspect my property as well, so I can fill out the bond and all those, that paperwork which needed to be done, and obviously getting a mobile phone sorted. So all of those things were really important, and in a way I kind of was a bit too busy to feel homesick at first because there was so much that I had to do and it kept my mind occupied. It's all very exciting moving to a different country. You get exposed to a culture that's different to your own. You meet loads of new people. You learn the local slang. You eat the local food. You hear new music. And so I felt it was a very new experience for me in that way and thoroughly enjoyed that. Also, I felt quite free and there wasn't much holding me back considering that I was in a new country. I was on my own. I felt independent. And at the same time, I felt a bit of responsibility, of course, knowing that I had to complete my studies and make sure I did well for my degree back home. But Australian people were generally very friendly, they were very welcoming, and I had the chance to make some fantastic friends out there. And even when I did run into trouble, whether it be locating a textbook or trying to find an online resource or something, people did look out for you quite a bit, and that really did make the experience that much more special for me. So obviously it wasn't all just smiles and sunshine. I did have a few challenges which I had to overcome. So it is quite difficult surviving in a new country without any family, without any friends, without knowing anyone, and you have to make new friends. And like I said, Australian people were incredibly friendly and very welcoming and very warm. So making friends was incredibly easy, and it was a great experience. And obviously you're away from your family, but fortunately with today's technology, I could literally just pick up my phone and FaceTime or Skype home. But the problem is there was a bit of a time difference of 11 hours. So I couldn't just come home from university in the afternoon and ring home because it would be about 3-4 in the morning. So that was quite difficult. Also, with the distance and also only being there for 6 months, there was no point in my family coming to visit me, and because it was also very expensive, and so that was a bit difficult as well. Also, the education system is very different, and that took time to adapt to. So I had no study leave over there compared to how we do over here. My exams are straight after my lectures, and also other things like having to sort out my own timetable and choose my modules and lecture times and tutorials and whatnot, and also making sure they were compatible with my degree back home. That was a challenge in itself. So living and rent costs were quite expensive, so I had to budget effectively, and also food was very pricey, so I had to learn to cook for myself and eat on a budget. Those were generally a few of the difficulties I encountered, but it was all part of the process, and it was great. Overall, studying abroad in Australia was an absolutely incredible experience for me. Although it didn't come without hardship, I did have a few challenges which I had to overcome, and being away from home, I did have to do quite a few things myself. But I did meet some incredible people out there, friends who I've made for life. I saw some fantastic sights, I learned a lot about a wonderful culture, and it was a life-changing experience for me. So if you're thinking about studying abroad, I would highly recommend it because you learn so much more than what you just study academically. And for me, it changed my life. In next week's video, I'm going to be telling you just a little bit about all the skills and everything I acquired from my experiences studying abroad and how studying abroad has helped me with my search for a graduate job. Anyway, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions about studying abroad, going to Australia, or graduate stuff in general, drop them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and I will see you guys in the next video.